The universe is a cathedral of light. It is vast and silent and holy. The gods of this cathedral are the Lu, Min. They are not made of flesh or metal. They are beings of pure, conscious starlight. Their law is simple. It is absolute. Nothing may travel faster than light. This is not a rule of physics. It is a divine decree, a speed limit for reality itself. To break it is not just a crime. It is blasphemy. The Lu, Min, enforce this law with perfect, unwavering resolve. Their fleets are constellations given purpose. Their worlds are radiant suns. The galaxy lives in a gilded cage. It is beautiful and safe and prosperous. No pirates raid the star lanes. No empires wage bloody wars. There is only peace, a serene, suffocating peace. The peace of a perfectly curated museum. A place where nothing new can ever happen. You see this cage for what it is. You are an engineer, a dreamer, a heretic in a galaxy of believers. You stand at the viewport of your orbital station. You watch the slow, majestic crawl of ships. They trace prescribed paths between the stars, never deviating, never daring to go faster. The law is not about safety. It is about control. You know this in your bones. The Lu, Min, are not shepherds. They are wardens. They have locked the doors of perception. They have told everyone that the walls of the prison are the edge of reality. But you have found a key. You turn from the star-dusted window. Your workshop is a mess of wires and conduits. It is a secret place, hidden in the station's core. A pocket of chaos in a universe of order. Here, you are building something impossible. Something that defies the sacred law. It is not a ship designed to go faster than light. That would be a brute force approach. That would be thinking inside their cage. Your machine is designed to break perception itself. It will not travel through space. It will sidestep it. It will fold the fabric of reality. For a fraction of a second, your ship will cease to exist in one place. It will then exist in another. An instantaneous leap. A trick that the gods of light never thought of. Or perhaps one they forbid anyone from remembering. You look at the drive core. It hums with a low, hungry energy. It is a sphere of polished, obsidian-like material. It does not reflect light. It seems to swallow it. This is your life's work, your grand defiance. Some people write poetry. Others compose music. You build middle fingers aimed at the heavens. The main console flickers to life. The diagnostic report is clean. All systems are nominal. A small, almost laughable green light blinks. It signals readiness. All this work for one little green light. It feels anticlimactic. The fate of your existence, and maybe the galaxy's, waiting on a simple switch. Your station's internal sensors show nothing amiss. Your project is shielded, of course, buried under layers of decoy systems and false energy readings. To the station master, you are just running routine maintenance, calibrating the atmospheric processors. He probably thinks you are a bit boring. You are fine with that. The boring rarely get noticed. You slide into the pilot's chair. It is worn and comfortable. The only piece of luxury in this whole chaotic workshop. The straps close over your chest. They feel tight, reassuring. You take a deep breath. The recycled air tastes of ozone and nervous sweat. Your sweat. The plan is simple. A single microsecond fold. The ship, the stray light, will vanish. It will reappear just 1 meter to its left. A tiny step, an insignificant movement. But it will be a step taken outside the known rules of the universe. A step into the dark. If the theory is right, the Lu, Min, will never even see it. Their sensors watch for velocity, for things moving through space. They do not watch for things that simply are not. And then are again. You place your hand on the activation lever. It is cool to the touch. You built this entire ship around this one control. Every plate of its hull, every kilometer of its wiring, it all serves this single, blasphemous purpose: to prove the gods wrong. For a moment, doubt creeps in. What if you are wrong? What if the drive simply tears the ship apart? A localized supernova of foolish ambition? Or worse, what if it works, but the other side is not empty? What if the gaps between reality are already occupied? It is a bit late for these questions, but they ask themselves anyway. You push the thought aside. Fear is the mind killer. And in this galaxy, fear of the Lu, Min, is the innovation killer. It is the reason no one has tried this before. You look at the small photograph taped to the console, a picture of a world you have never seen, a vibrant green and blue marble. Old Earth, the birthplace of a humanity that once reached for the stars with reckless abandon. Before the Lu, Min arrived and taught them humility. You are not humble. You are curious. You are defiant. You are human. That is enough. You grip the lever. Your knuckles are white. You close your eyes. You take one last breath of the old world. Then, you pull the lever. There is no sound, no roar of engines, no violent lurch of acceleration. There is only a profound and sudden silence. A silence that consumes everything. The hum of the drive core is gone. The whisper of the life support is gone. Even the beating of your own heart is gone. Then comes the feeling. It is not a physical sensation. It is a feeling in your soul, a sense of being turned inside out, of your very consciousness being stretched thin across an infinite canvas. Colors that have no names flash behind your eyelids. Geometries that defy logic twist and unfold around you. You feel a presence, something ancient and vast and utterly indifferent. It is like being a single drop of rain in an endless ocean. An ocean not of water, but of pure possibility. Every direction is every other direction. Every moment is now. You feel your thoughts unraveling, your identity dissolving into the raw code of existence. This is the place between places, the void that the Lu, Min, papered over with their light. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it is over. Sound rushes back in, the hum of the drive, the thumping of your heart, fast and hard against your ribs. The console blares with a dozen alarms. You gasp for air, your lungs burning. Your entire body is trembling. A cold sweat slicks your skin. You force your shaking hands to work. You silence the alarms one by one. The ship's internal chronometer shows that 0.7 seconds have passed. Less than a single second. It felt like an eternity. Or maybe it felt like no time at all. Your brain struggles to make sense of the memory. You check the external sensors. The workshop is still there, unchanged. But the ship's position has shifted. You bring up the telemetry. 1 meter. Precisely 1 meter to the left of its original coordinates. It worked. The math was right. The impossible was possible. A laugh bubbles up from your chest. It is a wild, unhinged sound. A sound of pure, triumphant madness. You did it. You took a step in the dark and found solid ground. You spat in the eye of heaven, and heaven did not even notice. For a glorious, beautiful moment, you are the freest being in the galaxy. You run diagnostics on the drive. The core is stable. Its energy signature is dropping back to dormant levels. The ship's hull integrity is at 100%. No damage. No anomalies, other than the one you intended. It was a perfect success, a flawless act of cosmic rebellion. You want to tell someone, to shout your victory from the rooftops, but your victory must remain a secret, the most important secret ever kept. The elation begins to fade. It is replaced by a deep, resonant awe. You touched it. You touched the real engine of the universe. The raw, untamed chaos that the Lu, Min, tried to pave over with their neat, orderly light. You understand now. Their law is not about control. It is about fear. They are afraid of what lies in the gaps. They are afraid of the dark. A new alert appears on your screen. It is not a ship alarm. It is a Priority 1 galactic news feed. You tap the screen, your curiosity piqued. The image resolves. It is a star chart of a nearby, uninhabited system. And in that system, a new star is being born. It is not a natural stellar formation. It is a point of light that appeared from nowhere. It is burning with an intensity that defies star science. A cold, white, furious light. It is growing brighter by the second. And it is moving toward your system. You feel a chill crawl up your spine, a cold dread that extinguishes the last embers of your triumph. They noticed. They did not see you jump. They did not see the ship vanish and reappear. But they felt it. You made a ripple in their perfect placid pond. And now, something is coming to see what caused it. Your secret did not last long, less than an hour. The new star grows on the display. It is resolving from a point of light into a shape, a form that is both beautiful and terrifying. A crystalline structure that radiates power. It is a Lu Min vessel, but it is unlike any you have ever seen. This is not a patrol ship. This is something else entirely. A single word flashes in your mind, dredged up from old texts. A name whispered in tales meant to frighten children. Inquisitor. They had sent an inquisitor, the ultimate enforcer of their law, a being of light whose only purpose is to find and extinguish heresy. Your heresy. The blood drains from your face. This is a death sentence. There is no trial with an inquisitor. There is only judgment. They do not arrest heretics. They unmake them, wiping them from existence so completely that even memory struggles to hold their shape. You have two choices: stay and be erased, or run. But where can you run? The Inquisitor is coming faster than light, because it is a being of light. It follows the rules, but it pushes them to their absolute, terrifying limit. Your little ship, the Stray Light, is a marvel, but it is docked inside a station full of people. You cannot let them be caught in this. The Inquisitor will not care about collateral damage. It will see the entire station as tainted, a nest that sheltered a heretic. It will cleanse the whole area with holy, unforgiving fire. Your act of defiance will become a massacre. The decision makes itself. You have to leave. Now you initiate the undocking sequence. Emergency protocols flash across the screen. You override them. The station master's angry voice crackles over the comms. He demands to know what you are doing, why you are attempting an unauthorized departure. You do not answer. There is nothing you can say that he would understand. How do you explain that you have invited a god's wrath upon them? How do you apologize for bringing an angel of death to their doorstep? You cut the comm link. Metal groans as the docking clamps retract. The Stray Light is free. You push the ship away from the station, using conventional thrusters. Slow, agonizingly slow. You need to put distance between yourself and the station. Enough distance that your next fold will not tear it apart. The station grows smaller in your viewport. a tiny island of light and life. You hope they will be safe. You hope the Inquisitor will be focused only on you. The Inquisitor's ship is now visible to the naked eye. A new, terrifyingly bright star in the sky. It hangs there like a judgment, a promise of imminent doom. It is not just a ship. It is a message to the entire system, a warning. This is what happens when you disobey. You check the distance. Far enough. You take one last look at the home you are leaving forever. Then you turn your gaze forward, into the endless, waiting dark. Your hand goes to the full drive lever. This time, there is no hesitation. There is no triumph. There is only the grim, desperate need to survive. You pull the lever. The silence returns. The world dissolves into that beautiful, terrifying chaos. The colors that are not colors, the shapes that are not shapes. You hold on to your consciousness this time. You fight to stay present. You are not a tourist here anymore. You are a refugee, a fugitive seeking asylum in the wilderness of reality. The ship snaps back into existence. The alarms scream. This jump was longer, more powerful. You check the navigation charts. You have traveled thousands of light years in an instant. You are in an uncharted sector of the galaxy, a place where the Lu, Min, patrol ships rarely venture. A place where you might be able to hide. For a little while. A new broadcast begins to flood your comm system. It is not a local signal. It is being beamed across the entire galaxy. On every channel. In every language. It is the voice of the Inquisitor. It is a sound like singing crystal. Pure and beautiful and utterly merciless. It does not speak your name. It does not show your face. It does not need to. It speaks of a sacrilege, an act against the sacred law of light, a wound torn in the fabric of space. It calls for the surrender of the heretic responsible, the one who piloted the vessel of shadow. The decree is absolute. The heretic is to be turned over. Any who offer aid or shelter will be deemed complicit. Their worlds will be purified. Their stars will be extinguished. The message is simple. Help me and you die. The entire galaxy is being deputized in the hunt for you. You are no longer just a fugitive. You are the single most wanted person in existence. There is nowhere to hide. Every world, every station, every ship is now a potential enemy, a potential informant. The Lu, Min, have turned their perfect, peaceful galaxy into a prison for one. And you are the inmate. You kill the comm system. The Inquisitor's voice vanishes, but its message lingers. The weight of it settles on you. This is the power of the Lu, Minute. Not just in their ships of light, but in the fear they command. The instant, unquestioning obedience of a billion worlds. They have built a cage of belief, and you just rattled the bars. Your ship drifts in the silence of unknown space. You are alone, hunted. The stray light feels less like a vessel of triumph now. It feels like a tomb, a coffin you built for yourself. Was it worth it? To prove a point? To see what was on the other side of the wall? You look at the drive core. The obsidian sphere is silent, dormant. But you know what it contains. You know the power it can unleash, the power to sidestep reality, the power that terrifies the gods of light. They have their righteous fire, their celestial fleets. But you have a secret, a beautiful, terrible secret. They can hunt a target that moves through space. They can calculate trajectories. They can predict destinations. But they are hunting a ghost, a phantom that slips between the ticks of the clock. A ship that is nowhere, and then suddenly, somewhere else. The hunt is on, and you have a head start. Your mind races. You need a plan. You cannot just jump randomly. That is a good way to fly into a star, or a black hole, or worse, to end up in the lap of a Lu-Min fleet. You need a destination, a sanctuary, a place so old, so forgotten, that even the Lu-Min have lost track of it. You access the ship's deep storage archives, the data you collected before your little project, star charts pilfered from restricted networks, histories that were officially erased, myths and whispers of the ages before the Lu-Min brought their peace. Somewhere in that forbidden knowledge, there must be a place to hide. You sift through fragmented data files. Most are dead ends. Legends of phantom planets, rumors of hidden civilizations. But one file catches your eye. It is heavily corrupted, almost unreadable. It speaks of the precursors, a species that rose to power long before humans even left their homeworld. The file contains a cryptic star map. It points to a desolate region of space, a graveyard of dead stars, known as the umbral expanse. The text is fragmented. It speaks of a great defiance, of a people who did not just break the law of light. They sought to master the darkness between. They built their cities in the gaps of space-time. This is it. This has to be it. If anyone understood what you have done, it would be them. If any place is safe from the Lu-Min, it is a place they once failed to conquer, a graveyard haunted by the ghosts of a rival power. The Inquisitor may be a god of light, but even gods must tread carefully in the tombs of their predecessors. You set the coordinates, the umbral expanse. It is a long jump, a dangerous jump. The drive has never been tested at this range. It could tear the ship apart, or it could drop you right into the heart of a dead sun. It is a desperate gamble, but it is the only one you have. You look at the star chart. The Inquisitor's light is a single burning point on the map. You are a single, invisible point a galaxy away. A game of cat and mouse on a cosmic scale. A mouse with a teleportation device, and a cat made of vengeful starlight. You almost laugh at the absurdity. It beats crying anyway. You engage the drive. You are getting used to the feeling now. The silent fall into unreality. The stretching of your senses. This time, you do not fight it. You let it wash over you. You are starting to feel a strange sort of comfort in this place. A sense of belonging. The quiet, chaotic dark feels more honest than the bright, orderly cage you left behind. The ship materializes with a groan of stressed metal. Alarms blare again. Hull integrity is down to 93%. The jump took its toll, but you are here. The viewport shows nothing but blackness, not the familiar black of deep space dotted with distant galaxies. This is a profound, absolute black. You are in the umbral expanse. The sensors show massive gravitational anomalies all around you, the ghosts of collapsed stars. The region is a navigational nightmare. Perfect. It will be a nightmare for the Inquisitor, too. Their light-based sensors will struggle here. Light itself gets lost in this place. A proximity alert flashes. Something is out there. Something large. It is not a ship. It is not giving off any energy readings. But it is massive. And it is close. You bring the object up on the main viewer. You adjust the imaging filters, trying to pull a shape out of the oppressive darkness. An image slowly resolves. It is a structure, an immense, impossible artifact. It is a ring world, but it is not orbiting a star. It seems to be orbiting nothing, a ring of dark, silent metal hanging in the eternal twilight. Its surface is covered in strange, angular ruins, the architecture of a species long dead. You have found it, the home of the precursors, the civilization that defied the light. A chill runs down your spine, but this time, it is not from fear. It is from wonder. You are looking at proof. Proof that you are not the first. You are not alone in your heresy. You guide the stray light closer. The scale of the ring is staggering. It would dwarf any planet. The silence is unnerving. This was once a thriving world, home to billions, perhaps trillions of souls. Now it is a ghost, a monument to a forgotten war. What happened here? Did the Lu, Min, do this? You find a breach in the ring's outer hull, a massive, gaping wound. It looks like an exit wound, as if something impossibly powerful burst out from within. You pilot your small ship through the opening. Inside the ring, the darkness is even more profound. The inner surface is a landscape of shattered cities and derelict towers. You land the stray light in the shadow of a broken spire. The ship powers down. The silence is absolute. You are hidden. For now, you can rest. You can repair the ship. And you can search for answers. You need to know what happened to the precursors. You need to know how they fought the Lu, Min. Their story might be the key to your survival. You open a secure channel. A one-way, encrypted data burst. Back to a handful of trusted contacts. Fellow engineers and thinkers who shared your doubts. You do not reveal your location. You do not reveal the nature of your drive. You simply send a message, a single sentence. The walls are not real. It is a spark, a tiny seed of doubt planted in the garden of their faith. It may amount to nothing, or it may be the start of something. The beginning of a quiet, whispering rebellion, a revolution not of ships and weapons, but of ideas. The idea that the gods of the galaxy might be wrong. For days you explore the ruins. You use the ship's remote drones. It is too dangerous to go out yourself. The ring is unstable, but the drones bring back images, data. They scan the alien architecture. They delve into the shattered data cores of the dead city. Most of the information is lost, corrupted beyond recovery. But you find fragments, echoes of the past. You piece together their story. The precursors were not like humans. They were a silicon-based life form. They perceived the universe in terms of vibrations and resonance. They did not see light. They felt it. And they felt the Lu, Min, arrive in the galaxy. They felt their law being imposed, a great, disharmonious chord that silenced the natural music of the cosmos. They did not accept it. They saw the Lu, Min for what they were. Not gods, not saviors. They were parasites. The data is clear, horrifyingly clear. The Lu, Min, do not just enforce the speed of light. They feed on it. The energy of a universe kept in a state of low, constant energy. The kinetic force of every ship moving below the limit. The potential energy of every civilization that never reaches its full potential. They are star devourers. But they do not eat the stars. They consume the ambition of an entire galaxy. The speed limit is their trough. The galaxy is their farm. They keep the cattle docile and fat, and they feed on the energy of their stagnation. It is a discovery that changes everything. This is not a theological dispute. It is not about freedom versus control. It is about survival. The Lu, Min are feeding on the lifeblood of reality. And your full drive? It is not just a violation of their law. It is a theft from their plate. You stole a mouthful of energy they believe belongs to them. No wonder they sent an inquisitor. This is not about heresy. It is about pest control. You are a bug that has figured out how to get into their larder. A new wave of fear washes over you. But it is mixed with something else. A cold, hard anger. You have been living in a cage. But the cage is also a farm. And you are the livestock. The hunt is relentless. You see it in the fragmented Lu-Min battle reports you can intercept. They are methodical, logical. They are mapping your jumps. They cannot see where you are, but they can see where you have been. Each fold leaves a faint, fading scar on space-time, a residual energy signature that their advanced sensors can detect. They are drawing a circle on the map, a circle with you at its center. Their fleets move with perfect, predictable precision. They are closing the net. They do not know about the umbral expanse yet. The gravitational chaos here masks the scars of your jumps. But it will not hide you forever. They will search this sector eventually. It is only a matter of time. Your ship operates on a different principle. Not logic, not precision. Your drive is a tool of beautiful madness. It is unpredictable, chaotic. It does not follow the clean lines of mathematics. It follows the messy, intuitive paths of inspiration. This is your only advantage. Your mind is the one thing they cannot predict. Your ability to make an illogical leap, to do something they would never expect. You need a new plan. Hiding is not enough. Running is not enough. You cannot run forever. They will eventually corner you. You need to change the game. You need to stop playing defense. It is time to go on the attack. But how can one small ship fight the entire Lu-Min armada? You delve deeper into the precursor data files. You search for weapons, for technology that can fight beings of pure light. You find schematics for energy projectors, for gravity distorters. But these are things the Lu-Min have faced before. They would be useless. You are about to give up, to accept that the precursor's lost for a reason. Then you find it. A hidden file, a secret project. It is not a weapon in the conventional sense. It is a modification to their version of a fold drive. A function so dangerous, they never used it. They were afraid of what it would do. The file is labeled with a single, ominous symbol. Null. The concept is terrifyingly simple. Your drive folds space to travel. It creates a temporary wormhole, a bridge from point A to point B. This null function does what the name implies. It starts the process. It opens the bridge. But it never opens the other side. It creates a pocket of space-time that is connected to nothing. A bubble of absolute, perfect nothingness. It is not just empty space. It is a void where the laws of physics cease to exist. A wound in reality that can never heal. Nothing can survive inside it. Matter, energy, even light itself would be extinguished. Not destroyed. Simply unmade. It would be a void lethal to the Lu-Min. A patch of darkness that could swallow a god of light. You look at the drive core. The obsidian sphere seems darker now, more menacing. You have a weapon. A weapon that could not just kill an inquisitor. It could erase it from existence. This changes everything. The fear begins to recede, replaced by a cold, sharp focus. The anger is still there, but now it has a purpose. You are no longer the heretic. You are no longer the fugitive. You are no longer the prey. The Lu-Min have hunted you across the galaxy. They have hounded you into the darkest corners of space. They think you are trapped. They think you are afraid. They are right. You are. But you have learned something from the dark. Something they have long forgotten. You stop running from the monster in the dark. You decide to become the monster that hunts the light. Your ship is a needle in a haystack of dead stars. The Inquisitor's fleet is a burning wall of fire sweeping across the expanse. Their search grid is flawless. They leave no shadow unchecked. They are methodical, inevitable. and they expect you to be cowering. They expect you to make one last, desperate jump into their waiting arms. You do not jump. You wait. You have chosen your battlefield. You sit in your pilot's chair. The stray light is cold and silent around you. You have modified the drive, integrated the precursor's null space weapon. The schematics were complex, terrifying. It felt less like engineering and more like writing a suicide note to the universe. The drive hums with a new resonance, a deeper, hungrier tone. It is no longer just a tool for travel. It is a weapon of uncreation. The anger you felt has cooled into something harder, something colder. It is the calm of a person with nothing left to lose, and a single, overriding purpose. You watch the Lu, Min, fleet advance on your tactical display, a web of light closing in. The Inquisitor's vessel is at its heart, a radiant, crystalline monstrosity. It burns with the arrogance of a god that has never known true fear. Today, it will get an education. Your plan is insane. It is a 1 in a billion shot. It relies on timing so precise it borders on precognition. It relies on the Inquisitor's arrogance, its belief that you are just a frightened animal trapped in a corner. You are counting on it to get close, too close. The fleet enters the dead star system you have chosen. It is a graveyard of celestial bodies, a place where gravity is a twisted, unpredictable mess, a place where physics is already dying. The perfect stage for your final act. A channel opens. It is the Inquisitor. Its voice fills the cockpit. It is not singing anymore. It is a low, resonant hum of pure power. The heresy ends now. It broadcasts. Your shadow will be scoured from this galaxy. There is no escape. There is only the light. You smile. A thin, grim smile. You do not answer. You let it think you are paralyzed by fear. You watch its vessel detach from the main fleet. It moves toward you alone. A predator isolating its prey for the final kill. Arrogant. Just as you hoped. It wants to be the one to extinguish your light personally. Or rather, your shadow. The Inquisitor's ship fills your viewport. It is impossibly large. A mountain of living crystal and captive starlight. It radiates an aura of absolute authority. Any other being would be crushed by its sheer presence. But you are no longer just any other being. You have stared into the void, and you have learned its secrets. Your defiance is an anomaly, the Inquisitor hums. A sickness in the order of things. It must be cleansed. Its ship begins to glow brighter. It is charging its main weapon, a beam of pure, focused energy that can shatter planets. A cleansing fire. You do not move. You do not try to dodge. You let it lock onto you. You let it prepare its judgment. Your hand rests on the drive activation lever, the modified lever for the null space function. Your heart is a cold, steady drum. One shot, one chance. The Inquisitor unleashes its power. A torrent of white-hot light erupts from its crystalline hull. A spear of holy fire hurled across the void. It is beautiful. It is terrifying. It is the end of the world. And it is aimed directly at you. At the very last microsecond, the moment before the light would have touched your hull, you pull the lever. The world does not dissolve this time. It shatters. There is a sound, a single, pure, deep tone. The sound of a bell ringing for a universe that has just died. The drive activates. It opens a rift in space right in front of your ship. A perfect circle of absolute nothing. A hole in the world. The Inquisitor's beam of light does not hit your ship. It hits the null space void, and it vanishes. Not reflected, not absorbed. It is simply gone, as if it never existed. The light pours into the void. an endless stream of energy feeding an endless hunger. The Inquisitor's hum turns into a shriek of disbelief, a sound of pure, uncomprehending agony. It cannot understand what is happening. Its ultimate weapon, the very essence of its being, is being unmade. You push the drive harder. The null space rift expands. It grows from a shield into a weapon. It lunges forward, an expanding sphere of perfect non-existence. It touches the edge of the Inquisitor's crystalline ship. There is no explosion, no shower of sparks. The part of the ship it touches simply ceases to be. A clean, surgical cut. The wound does not bleed energy or debris. It is just gone. You do not destroy the being of light. You simply unmake it, piece by piece. You are unweaving the light, erasing it from the tapestry of reality. The Inquisitor screams, a psychic wave of terror and pain that washes over the entire system. The other Lu Min ships halt their advance. They watch in stunned, silent horror. Their god is being dismantled. The null space void consumes the Inquisitor's vessel. The great, crystalline mountain is eaten away by the silent, patient darkness. Until there is nothing left. The screaming stops. The blinding light is gone. There is only the void you created, a perfect black sphere hanging in space, a monument to a god's death. You deactivate the drive. The null space sphere collapses. It folds in on itself and vanishes. Reality rushes back in. The silence is broken by the frantic, terrified communications of the Lu Min fleet. They are not attacking. They are retreating, fleeing in terror from the place where their god was erased. You watch them go. A fleet of burning stars running from a single shadow. A new emotion has been introduced to the galaxy. It is not hope. It is not rebellion. It is fear. A deep, primal fear of the dark. A fear of humanity. A fear of what you have become. A god of the Lu Min has fallen. It was not defeated in a glorious battle. It was simply switched off. The news will spread. The story will be told in whispers at first, then in shouts. The unassailable authority of the light has been broken. The gilded cage has a crack in it, a crack you made. They will give you names now. The Void Walker, the Shadow Maker, the Breaker of Light. But you will always be the human who looked at the heavens and refused to bow. The human who saw the bars of the cage and decided to build a door. You drift alone in the graveyard of stars. A legend has been born, and the galaxy will never be the same. You do not remember your name. You do not remember your home. There is only the light, a clean, perfect, and infinite white. It is not just something you see. It is something you feel. It presses against your skin like a gentle but firm hand. It fills your lungs with every breath, a sterile warmth with no source. You are a prisoner. This much you know. But there are no walls, no bars, no ceiling or floor, just the uniform, unending glow. It is a cage made of pure illumination, a prison built from the concept of sight itself. You have tried to walk. You take a step, and then another. But your surroundings never change. You are always at the center of nowhere. A voice echoes. It does not enter your ears. It simply arrives in your mind, fully formed. The sound is like a chorus of distant stars. It is ancient and impossibly vast. You have been judged, the star voice declares. It holds no malice. It holds no anger. It is as impassive as gravity. Your species is an anomaly, a potential for unbalance. You try to speak, but you have no voice. Your throat is full of the same light that surrounds you. The silence is as perfect as the view. You are human, the voice continues. A race defined by its duality. You can create wonders. You can commit horrors. You contain both the brightest dawn and the darkest night. A flicker of defiance sparks within you. What right do they have? Who are they to judge an entire people? The voice seems to notice your silent protest. We are the guardians of cosmic order. We are the shepherds of the light. We cannot allow a rogue variable to threaten trillions of lives. The voice explains your sentence. You are not to be executed. You are to be contained. Here, in this vessel of pure energy, held in stasis until your star burns out. A very long time out, for a crime you haven't even committed. Your potential for darkness is your crime, the voice concludes. Here, there is no darkness. Here, there is no potential. There is only light. And in light, you are nullified. The voice fades. It leaves you with a crushing weight of its judgment. You are alone again, adrift in an ocean of radiance. The light is supposed to be cleansing, a symbol of purity and hope. But here, it is your jailer, and your sentence is forever. For a time you cannot measure. You do nothing. You float in the white void. You accept your fate. What else can you do? You are one small being against a power that commands stars, a power that builds prisons from sunlight. Resistance feels not just futile, it feels absurd. But humanity was never very good at accepting fate. Your mind, starved of stimulus, begins to turn inward. You sift through memories you can no longer clearly see. A feeling of warmth from a sun, a real sun, the coolness of rain on your skin, the complex and wonderful taste of food. You remember love. You remember loss. You remember the sharp sting of failure and the quiet pride of success. You cling to these feelings. They are the only things the light cannot touch. They are yours alone. The utter perfection of your prison begins to wear on you. It is a smooth, featureless existence. There are no edges, no textures, no variations. It is maddening. It is a sensory deprivation chamber for the entire soul. You would give anything for a single flaw, a crack in the polish. You begin to feel an emotion you haven't felt yet. Not anger, not fear, but a deep, profound despair. A hopelessness so total it feels heavy. It is a cold, dense thing in the center of your chest. It is an ache for all that you have lost. You curl up in the endless light. You bring your knees to your chest. You wrap your arms around them. You focus on that feeling of despair. You let it consume you. It is a dark comfort, a final rebellion. If you cannot escape the light, you will embrace the darkness within you. And then, something impossible happens. Where your body casts a fold, a space is created, a small pocket shielded from the omnipresent glow. And in that space, a shadow is born. It is just a flicker at first, a tiny patch of gray in a universe of white. It is no bigger than your hand, but it is there. You stare at it, a shadow, in a room with no objects and a perfectly uniform light source. It should not exist. It defies every law of physics you know. It violates the very foundation of your prison. The guardian said, "There is no darkness here." They were wrong. The despair in your chest lessens. It is replaced by a spark of something else, something wild and dangerous. Hope. The shadow is a flaw in the system, and you created it. Your very human sadness has broken their perfect machine. You press your hand against the shadow. It feels like nothing. A cool absence. The light around you seems to shimmer, as if it has noticed the imperfection, as if it is confused. The constant, gentle pressure increases slightly. The light tries to flood the space you have created. It tries to wash away the tiny stain of gray. But the shadow holds. It is anchored to your sorrow. The light pours into it and simply vanishes. The shadow does not shrink. It does not yield. It is a hole in reality, a tiny puncture in the wall of your cage. You look at your impossible shadow, and for the first time in a very long time, you smile, a real smile, full of teeth and terrible new ideas. Your discovery does not go unnoticed. The change is immediate. The placid ocean of light around you begins to churn. The energy in the air thickens. It gathers in front of you. It coalesces. Light bends and weaves together. It forms a shape, a tall, shimmering figure. It has a head, a torso, 2 arms, and 2 legs. But it is made of nothing but pure, condensed starlight. It is beautiful and terrifying. It radiates a power that makes the star voice feel like a distant echo. This is not a recording. This is a presence. This is the warden. A new voice enters your mind. This one is sharp, clear, like the shattering of a crystal. Anomaly detected. Absence of luminescence registered. Explain. You look at the being of light. Then you look down at the small patch of gray huddled by your knees. Your little defiance. You have no voice to answer with. So you simply pour more of your feelings into it. The grief, the loneliness, the anger. The shadow darkens. It deepens from gray to a soft black. It expands, covering your folded legs completely. It is a void, a patch of absolute nothing. The light being takes a step back, a gesture of surprise, or perhaps of fear. Uncreation. How? Its voice rings with disbelief. This is not a permitted state. All is light. All is energy. This is a deficit. It extends a shimmering hand, a beam of concentrated light, brighter than anything you have seen yet, shoots from its fingertips. It strikes your shadow. You brace for impact, for pain, for your little rebellion to be snuffed out. But nothing happens. The beam of light hits the shadow and is simply swallowed. It does not illuminate it. It does not destroy it. It just vanishes. It is like pouring water into a hole that has no bottom. The warden's ultimate weapon is just more fuel for your void. Impossible, the warden whispers in your mind. The sharpness in its voice is gone, replaced by a tremor of pure shock. It consumes the spectrum. It consumes the energy. What are you? You finally understand. These beings of light, they have no concept of darkness. Not true darkness. Not the absence of everything. Their reality is built on energy, on existence. They cannot comprehend non-existence. Your despair has created a weapon they do not understand and cannot fight. The warden, this being of pure power, is afraid of you. It is afraid of a sad, unarmed human and the shadow they carry. It calls itself Luxion. It introduces itself out of some strange, sudden protocol, as if it needs to establish its authority, even while trembling. I am the warden, Luxion, it says, its form flickering. This vessel, this containment field, is my responsibility. Your anomalous nature will be studied. It will be understood, and it will be corrected. Luxion does not attack again. It simply observes. It circles you slowly. A predator studying a creature it has never seen before? It tries to analyze your shadow with different frequencies of light. Each one is consumed without a trace. It is like trying to take a picture of a black hole. All information simply disappears. This gives you an idea, a very bad one, which of course makes it a very good one. You need a name for your new friend, your little patch of defiance. You decide to call it Stubbs. It just feels right. You focus your will. You push not with anger, but with a cold, calculated intent. You feed the shadow more than just emotion. You feed it purpose. You want it to grow. You want to see how far this can go. The shadow responds. It creeps outward from your body. It spreads across the luminous floor that isn't a floor. It forms a perfect circle around you, about 10 feet wide. You are now sitting in the center of a black disk, an island of nothing in an ocean of everything. Luxian halts its circling. Its form wavers violently. Cease this. Cease this action immediately. You are destabilizing the integrity of the cell. You almost laugh. That is the entire point. You are a human. Destabilizing things is practically a hobby for your species. You pour more focus into the shadow. You push it further. The disk of blackness expands. 20 feet. 30 feet. The warden, Luxian, finally makes a decision. It cannot destroy the shadow. It cannot contain it. So it runs. In a flash of brilliant light, the being dissolves. It vanishes, leaving you alone once more. Alone with your growing power. The warden has fled. You, the prisoner, have just scared off the jailer. The balance of power in this perfect prison has just been turned completely upside down. With Luxian gone, a new kind of silence descends. It is not the sterile silence from before. This silence is filled with potential. It is the quiet of a hunter waiting in a blind. You sit in the center of your black island, the shadow a comfortable coolness against your skin. You are no longer just a victim of the light. You are a wielder of the dark. You experiment. You find that the shadow responds to more than just despair. It responds to will, to intent. You think of a shape, and the darkness tries to form it. Your control is clumsy at first, like a baby learning to use its hands. You try to make a spear. It comes out looking more like a lumpy snake. You try for a shield. It looks like a slightly burnt pancake. Practice. You need practice. You spend an unknown amount of time shaping the void. The pancake becomes a disc. The snake becomes a line. You are learning the grammar of this new power. Your emotions are the ink. Your will is the pen. As your circle of shadow continues to expand, it brushes against something. It is not the hard, unyielding energy of the prison walls. It is something else. Something soft and distant. A flicker of thought that is not your own. Cold. So cold. The whisper is faint. A ghost in your mind. It is gone as quickly as it came. You freeze. You focus. You extend your senses. Not with your ears, but through the shadow. You cast it out like a net into the silent sea of light. There. Another one. A different voice. A different mind. 73 cycles of torment. The song burns. It burns. You are not alone. There are other prisoners. The realization hits you with the force of a physical blow. This entire vessel, this star-born prison, is not just for you. It is a cosmic penitentiary, a holding cell for all the anomalies the guardians of light could find. Your shadow, this thing born of your human soul. It is somehow bypassing the prison systems. It is acting as a conduit, a psychic receiver tuned to the frequency of suffering. The one thing all the prisoners here share. You push your senses further. The whispers become a chorus, a cacophony of alien minds. You hear the thoughts of a dozen different species. You feel their fear, their boredom, their rage. You see flashes of their memories, worlds of crystal trees, skies with 3 suns, beings made of living stone and sentient gas. They are all trapped in their own cells of perfect light, just like you, isolated, alone, for centuries, some for millennia. The guardians did not just imprison them, they erased them from each other. They made each one believe they were the only one. A new feeling joins the cocktail of emotions fueling your shadow. Not despair, not anger, but empathy. A fierce, protective connection to these unseen, unheard souls. They are your people now. You are a community of the damned. One voice cuts through the noise. It is clearer than the others. Stronger. It feels old and powerful. And it is aware of you. A new note in the song. A silence. Who are you, little void? You have no voice to answer. You have no language this ancient mind would understand. So you answer with the only thing you have. You send a feeling back through the shadow. A pulse of pure, defiant hope. You show it the image of your shadow consuming the warden's light. You show it your rebellion. There is a long pause. The other whispers fade as this one mind focuses entirely on you. Darkness. I remember darkness. From before the light, before the cage. The thought is laced with a sense of wonder. And something else. A strategic coldness. The walls are made of woven energy, threads of captured starlight. Can your silence unweave them? A key. The ancient mind is telling you how the prison works. It is not a solid wall. It is a fabric, a tapestry of light. And if it can be woven, it can be unwoven. Your shadow is not a hammer to break the walls. It is a tool to unpick the seams. You now have a purpose, and you have allies. Scattered, broken. But they are there. And for the first time, you are not just surviving. You are planning an escape. The ancient prisoner's words echo in your mind. A thread of silence to unweave the light. It is a challenge and a guide. You look at your island of shadow. It is a blunt instrument, a puddle of nothing. You need to turn it into a tool, a precision instrument. You sit cross-legged. You close your eyes. You focus on your will. Not on the size of the shadow, but on its shape. You imagine pulling a single strand from the dark pool at your feet, like pulling a thread from a spool of black silk. It is difficult. The shadow wants to be a formless mass. It resists being shaped into something so delicate. It takes all your concentration. Your head thrums with the effort. Sweat you cannot feel, beads on a brow you cannot see. Slowly, painfully, a thin, black tendril rises from the disk of shadow. It is no thicker than a wire. It wavers in the airless space, unstable, fragile. You pour your intent into it. Be strong, be sharp. The tendril solidifies. It becomes a needle of pure void. It is about 6 feet long. It floats before you, utterly black against the infinite white. You have done it. You have woven your first thread of darkness. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You feel a wave of approval from the ancient mind. A silent mental nod. Other whispers in the chorus of prisoners grow excited. They can feel what you are doing. Your effort is a beacon of hope in their timeless despair. You are their champion. No pressure, of course. Now for the true test. You guide the black needle with your thoughts. It moves with a perfect, fluid grace. It is an extension of your will. You send it toward the edge of your invisible cell. You do not know exactly where the wall is. You have only paced its confines endlessly. The tip of the shadow needle touches the boundary. There is no sound, but you feel it. A soft resistance, a friction, as if you are pushing a pin into a thick sheet of rubber. This is it. The wall of light. The light of the wall pushes back. It tries to dissolve the tip of your needle, but it cannot. The void simply consumes the energy. The needle holds firm. It is a standoff between a star and a hole. You push harder. You focus all your will into that one single point. You are not just pushing a physical object. You are pushing a concept. You are forcing the idea of nothing into a place that is defined as everything. A vibration runs through the prison. The light around you flickers. It is a subtle shift. But in this place of absolute uniformity, it is as dramatic as an earthquake. The prisoners feel it. Their whispered thoughts turn into a roar of excitement and anticipation in your mind. It yields. The tapestry tears. The ancient mind sends. You give one final, desperate push. Your mind screams with the strain. The tip of your shadow needle sinks into the wall of light. It disappears. You have breached the first layer. The needle is through. You are no longer fully contained. A part of you is now outside the cage. The feeling is exhilarating. It is a taste of freedom. You do not pull the needle back. You leave it there. A permanent hole, a statement. You have marked your territory. You have signed your name on their perfect wall, and your signature is an empty space. You know what you have to do next. One thread is not enough. You need more. You need to weave a weapon, or better yet, a key. You spend the next period of time, hours, days, you have no idea, practicing. You pull more threads from your shadow pool. You learn to weave them together. You create complex shapes, a mesh of darkness, a blade of absence. The prisoners watch. They offer support. They send you feelings of encouragement. They are your silent audience, your co-conspirators. You are no longer just a human prisoner. You are the focal point of a rebellion that spans a dozen star systems and 100 captive worlds. The warden, Luxian, is still gone. It is probably reporting to its superiors. The beings of light, the Elder Ones, as one of the prisoners calls them. Let them come. You will be ready. You have mastered the thread. Now you must master the breach. A single pinprick in the wall is a victory. But it is not freedom. You need an opening, a door. You stand up on your island of shadow. You retract the needle, coiling it back into the pool of darkness at your feet. You begin to weave something new. Not a thin thread, but a thick, flat blade, a wedge of solid void. It takes more energy, more focus. The effort makes your head spin, but the hope of the other prisoners fuels you. Their combined will is a current at your back. The blade takes shape. It is 10 feet long, 3 feet wide, and its edge is impossibly sharp. It is an edge made of non-existence. It does not cut. It erases. You position the blade in front of you. You aim it at the invisible wall. This is it. No more tests. No more practice. You feel a wave of caution from the ancient mind. They will know. The moment the seal is broken, the vessel will scream. Let it scream. You push the shadow blade forward. It contacts the wall with that familiar, soft resistance. You pour every ounce of your will into the attack, every memory of pain, every scrap of defiance. You are not just breaking a wall, you are shattering a philosophy. The light of the prison flickers violently now. The entire structure groans. Not a sound, but a deep, tectonic vibration of energy. The blade sinks into the wall. An inch, a foot, 3 feet. The darkness is cleaving the light in two. And then, it happens. With a silent, final snap, the blade passes all the way through. The tension breaks. The woven energies of the wall, their integrity compromised, unravel. A section of the wall before you, a perfect 10-foot square, does not explode. It simply vanishes. It ceases to be. In its place is a corridor, a hallway made of the same glowing, solidified light. It stretches on into the distance. You have done it. You have cut a door out of your prison cell. For a moment, you just stare into the hallway, the first new view you have seen in eternity. It is more of the same, really. Just more light. But this is different. This is a path. This is a choice. And then the alarms begin. The ancient prisoner was right. The vessel screams. It is not a sound you hear with your ears. It is a cascade of sensory overload. Flashing strobes of painful, multicolored light. A piercing hum that vibrates directly in your bones. A psychic shockwave of pure panic from the ship's own consciousness. Silent alarms for a silent prison. Every system in this massive starship is now screaming your name. The escape of Prisoner Zero, the human anomaly. You have their full attention now. Good. The show is just getting started. You step through the hole you created. Your bare feet touch the floor of the corridor. You are out. You are finally, truly out of your cell. The disk of shadow follows you, flowing from the cell and pooling around your feet like a loyal pet. It is your shield, your weapon, your only companion. The corridor stretches in two directions. Both look identical. A featureless expanse of glowing walls. It is a labyrinth of radiance, a maze designed to confuse and contain anyone who might breach their cell. There are no signs, no landmarks, just endless glowing white. A classic case of terrible interior design. But you have a map. You close your eyes and reach out with your shadow. You feel the whispers of the other prisoners. They are your true north. Each one is a point of light in your mental darkness. Or rather, a point of darkness in their light. You can feel their locations. Some are close, down this hall, around a corner. Others are miles away, deep in the vessel's core. You know where you need to go. You are not just escaping, you are liberating. A one-person jailbreak. You choose a direction. A cell not far from yours contains a mind that feels like grinding stones and immense patience. You begin to walk. Your every step is an act of rebellion. The alarms continue to blare. A silent, frantic symphony of failure. Figures of light begin to coalesce in the corridor ahead. Not as formed as Luxion, these are simpler. Drones. Security guards made of raw energy. They look like glowing stick figures armed with spears of hard light. They are the prison's immune system, and you are the infection. There are a dozen of them. They block your path. They raise their weapons. They have no voices, no minds to read. They are simple automatons, programmed to nullify threats. You do not slow down. You let your shadow pool spread out before you. The drones step onto the blackness. Their glowing feet vanish into the void. They falter. Their simple programming has no protocol for a floor that simply stops existing. They try to strike. They thrust their light spears at you. You raise a hand, and a wall of shadow rises to meet them. Not a solid wall. A flowing liquid curtain of darkness. The spears plunge into the curtain and are consumed. Their light extinguished instantly. The drones are confused. They pause their attack. They recalibrate. You do not give them the chance. You command your shadow to strike back. Tendrils of void erupt from the pool at your feet. They lash out like whips. They wrap around the light drones. Where the shadow touches them, their light is drained. They flicker and dim. One by one, they are unmade. Their energy siphoned away into your void. Within seconds, the corridor is empty again. You have just dismantled a dozen guards without throwing a single punch. You have to admit, it is a pretty good power set. You continue down the hall. The ship is now actively fighting you. Walls shift. Corridors attempt to rearrange themselves, to lead you in circles. But you ignore the shifting architecture. You trust your shadow map. You follow the whispers. You arrive at another cell. It looks identical to your own. a seamless patch of wall, infinitesimally brighter than the corridor. You feel the mind inside, the being of living stone. It feels your presence. A wave of disbelief and hope washes over you. You do not hesitate. You form the shadow blade once more. The process is faster now, easier. You are getting good at this. You slice a new door into the wall. As the section of light vanishes, a new figure is revealed. It is tall and broad. Its body is made of a gray, crystalline rock, laced with veins of some glowing blue mineral. It has 4 powerful arms and a head with no discernible face, just a smooth, polished surface. It stands in its cell, staring at the opening you have created. Staring at you, it is real. The stone being thinks. Its thoughts are slow, deep, like the grinding of continents. The silence is real. You give it a mental nod. A simple gesture of, "Come on." The stone being takes a hesitant step out of its cell. It looks down at the shadow pooling at your feet. It reaches out one of its 4 rocky hands, not to touch you, but the darkness itself. Its fingers dip into the void. A shiver runs through its massive frame, cold, like the core of a dead world. It thinks, with a tone of profound reverence, "I am Grawl. I will follow the one who wields the empty spaces." You have your first recruit. 1 down. A whole lot more to go. You turn and continue down the labyrinth. Grawl walks behind you, its heavy footsteps making no sound on the light floor. You are no longer alone. You are the start of an army. Word of your actions spreads like wildfire through the psychic network of prisoners. The whispers are no longer just whispers. They are a roar, a chorus of 100 different species from 100 different worlds, all chanting your victory. Your name is a legend being born in real time. The human who carries the void, the shadow walker, the unweaver. You move faster now, you and Grawl, a strange duo of flesh and stone. You are a whirlwind of liberation. You reach a new cell. You slice it open. A lithe, insectoid creature with iridescent wings scrambles out, chittering its thanks in thoughts that feel like buzzing static. It introduces itself as Cathar. It joins your parade. Another cell, a being of swirling, sentient gas, contained within a weak force field, is freed. It cannot speak, but it shows you its gratitude by swirling around you like a colorful, grateful tornado. It calls itself Zephyr. You are a coalition of the captive, a walking, talking collection of alien misfits, and you are their leader. They look at you with awe. Your power is something none of them have ever seen. To them, who have only known the tyranny of light, your command of the dark is a miracle, a divine act of rebellion. You find it a little funny. Back home, you were just you. Now you are a messiah of shadows. It is amazing what a little cosmic injustice and a lot of angst can do for one's career path. You come to a large, open chamber, a hub connecting a dozen different corridors. In the center of the chamber, the warden, Lukshan, is waiting for you. It is not alone. It is flanked by 10 elite guards. They are larger than the drones you faced before. They are fashioned in the warden's own image. Brilliant, golden figures armed with swords of white-hot light. That is far enough, anomaly. Lukshan's voice rings through the chamber. It sounds strained. It has lost its clinical composure. This is no longer a scientific problem. This is a full-scale insurrection. Your new allies tense. Grawl steps in front of you, a living shield of rock. Cathar hisses, its mandibles clicking. Zephyr swirls into a dense, defensive cloud. They are ready to fight for you. ready to die for the one who gave them hope. You cannot win, Luxian continues, trying to sound confident. This vessel is a fortress of infinite energy. You are finite. Your power, this uncreation, must have a limit. It is probably right. You do feel a drain, a deep weariness in your soul. Creating and controlling the shadow is not without a cost. But you are not going to tell the warden that. You have proven your uniqueness, Luxian says, changing its tactic. The Elder Ones have been informed. They are intrigued. Your potential for darkness is greater than our models predicted. It extends an open hand, a gesture of peace, or a trap. Join us. Your power is a new variable. It could be useful. We can offer you a place of honor. You can help us maintain order. You would no longer be a prisoner. You would be a partner. The offer hangs in the air. Power, prestige, an end to the fight. It is tempting. A part of you, the part that is tired and scared, wants to accept. To just stop. Grawl turns its featureless head toward you. A gilded cage is still a cage. It thinks. Its logic is solid as its body. Cathar buzzes in agreement. Trick talk. The Lightbinders never share power. They only command. They are right. You look at the Warden, at its perfect, radiant form. It speaks of order. But it is the order of a static universe. A universe with no change, no chaos, no freedom, no humanity. You give Luxion your answer. You do not speak. You do not nod. You simply let your shadow flow. It spreads across the floor of the chamber. It devours the light. It flows up to the feet of Luxion's elite guard. It stops right before touching them. A clear, unmistakable threat. You look the Warden directly in its shimmering face, and you send it a single, clear thought. A very human thought. A thought that has started more rebellions than any weapon. Number Luxion's form flares with rage. The negotiation is over. So be it. You have chosen unbalance. You have chosen erasure. The Golden Guards raise their swords of light. The final battle for this section of the ship is about to begin. You brace yourself, your army of misfits at your back. You are tired. You are outnumbered. You are a single, fragile being against gods of light. And you wouldn't have it any other way.